Who's here? Who's here at my door?
Alright. Who's knocking on my door? Holy shit!
I'm your biggest fan, Mr. Lynch. Oh my goodness, it's a pleasure to
God.
meet you, my friend.
Oh God! Oh.
Yes.
Oh God! Put the knife down. That's my knife. Please, that steak knife, please.
What do you mean?
I don't know why you took my steak. I don't know why you took my steak knife.
I found. Oh, I'm very sorry.
So
Mr. Lynch.
what are you doing? Who are you?
I'm your biggest fan.
Yeah, but what's your name?
My name?
Yeah.
Alex, that movie kid fan #1. That's my YouTube account name.
There's a YouTube account of.
Of course.
But what's your name?
Alex, that movie kid #1 fan.
Yeah, but you probably have a real name.
Oh, well, my name is Bobby Silverstein.
Oh.
Yes, and I was just wondering, because I have this knife for a very.
No, that's my knife. That's my knife. You took my knife.
Excuse me,
this
sir.
This is my kitchen knife.
Oh, you sure?
Yeah, this is my kitchen knife.
May I borrow it?
No, you may
No?
not
Oh.
borrow it.
Well-
I'm keeping on to this knife.
I'm just trying to reenact my favorite serial killer, Michael Myers.
Oh,
And I thought, you like Michael Myers, you like Halloween, you like movies.
yeah,
I like Halloween. I
Yeah.
like Michael Myers.
yeah.
Except the resurrection. So, how about we talk about it? I've seen all your videos. We should do it. We should do a one-on-one review.
You know, I don't see why not. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Right on my. So, Mr. Silverstein, what do you do besides watch my videos?
I don't do too much other things than watching videos. I mean, I am a super fan, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Oh.
Thank you for allowing me into your humble home.
Well, you sort of invited yourself, but
Yes.
So you want to talk about the Halloween movies,
I would love nothing more, because that's one of my main hobbies, is watching the Halloween movies.
even when it's not Halloween.
Oh, all year round. Michael Myers is probably my favorite serial killer of all time.
All right, so let's talk about all 13 Halloween movies.
All 13. That's a lot of movies.
It is.
What do you think?
And
And many different trilogies.
and timelines.
Yes. Ugh.
So, Halloween 1978 by John Carpenter.
Yes, the original. That's the original, right?
The
there.
original.
Yes, the original.
Yes.
The father of all the Halloween movies.
Well, more like the granddad now.
Yeah.
But,
yep.
So, I'm assuming that this is your favorite one.
It's my second favorite, but it's up
Okay.
there. You know, it's tied for
Okay.
first, which we'll get to later.
So we'll get. So I guess we'll
We'll get
we'll
there
get
later.
to which one is your favorite. But I mean, this one is just my favorite.
It's a classic.
It is.
It's
It's one of the best, like, just like indie movies overall. Just the whole directing of Carpenter, all the acting from Jamie Lee Curtis and the girls, because Deborah Hill wrote the dialogue for the three teens, and it feels like you're actually watching real teens talk.
No,
unlike
100%.
unlike in Rob Zombie's movies where they talk like
Yes.
like
I feel like as we advanced more in time, the acting kind of went a little bit off edge, as you might say.
yeah. We'll eventually
We'll
get
get to
to
those.
Rob Zombie, but first Halloween, it's the only one that I still feel is scary, and still terrifically looking, because Dean Cundy, who he hasn't been doing much as in cinematography, because he doesn't really know digital filmmaking that well, and just the first three movies overall, I think they just look fantastic, especially this one, and a lot of I just love all the nighttime shots of just like Michael in the distance. That's like part of why I feel like this movie is scary.
Yep. And what I really love, especially about this first one, is that it's the first of like all these. In each timeline, they start off with this movie.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of like this movie. There's no prior information you need to know when you're watching it. So it's just this like, it introduces this new character, a serial killer, you'll say, and it just of this creepy storyline of this stalker who kills people, in a very gory fashion, which I just think is very, like, bone-chilling in a way.
Yeah, but I mean, you can still admit that it definitely has its flaws, like the pine trees.
The movie was made in 1978.
That's not the year doesn't have anything to really do with it, but it's the California location of it is just it's very noticeable. And the following sequels they would look more like they're in Illinois, but I mean just the fact that there's just nothing but like artificial leaves in the just like there would be on like like a few like front yards. There is something charming about it. But this was a movie that was just like this this like Islamic guy producer just went to John Carpenter, who made this like low budget police action movie, and was like a big movie about babysitters being murdered, and then he's like, set it on Halloween because there's no movie called Halloween. But and also I still don't get what happened with Michael's escape. It's like,
oh well, that's what I like about it. Since it's not explained, it really like opens up that door of mystery. And when you watch it, it forms all these different theories, and you have that sense of mystery behind it.
But it's just the whole thing is that all these prisoners are just out. The whole point is that these prisoners were just out in the rain. I feel like that wasn't. I don't feel like it was explained well. Maybe it was in the TV movie, because I don't know if you knew there was
different cuts. Yes.
Yeah, but this was like a TV movie.
Yes, and they added extra scenes.
Yeah,
most fill the time slot, because it was a short movie when it first came out.
Yeah, it really was, but it was mostly to have some of the stuff that relates to Halloween 2. That's why there are some people out there that will remember how Halloween 2, or like the first Halloween reveals the whole sister narrative. But wait, let me just check something. Does this actually include the television spots? I don't think it has the. I don't think it has the TV cut on here, but I know the Shout Factory release does. But and just like the other thing is that we'll get to this when we talk about Halloween 2, but Donald Pleasance, he's great. He doesn't really do much in this movie.
Yes.
You leave that.
I'll fix it. Don't you worry. I broke into your home. The least I could do is
thank you.
Fix it for you.
But Donald Pleasance, Sam Loomis is a great character.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm trying to think if you can imagine because they were thinking of getting either Peter Cushing or Christopher Lee to be in it, because they had their experiences in being in horror movies before. So I always thought about that. What if they were Dr. Loomis? Would that have any effect on it, or?
I personally think that the guy who was Loomis, we see in the original, and all through a lot of the sequels in the original timeline, or the Thorn timeline.
Yeah.
I think that he was kind of like the perfect guy to play the role. I mean, because he really you saw through his portrayal of the character, his use of the bit of the psycho, very agitated over and obsessing over killing Michael Myers. You saw that side of him, and that determination to get to the bottom of this, to kill Michael Myers, and I just thought he was a great portrayal of the character. And Dr. Loomis, I think he's the reason why the character, I feel like, is so beloved today.
Yeah, he's definitely a modern day Van Helsing in a way.
And as we go into, I'm sure, a lot of the sequel movies, I like how it goes more into depth of his character, because it shows, he's been through a lot, and he's
driven by
he survived a lot, might I say. I mean, some things is questionable with all these Halloween movies, but he's a great character.
Yeah. But yeah, that's Halloween. Great independent film, one of the best, just influential, well shot movies overall. And nothing could really sort of top it though. So now let's go into Halloween 2. So Halloween 2.
Yes, Halloween 2. This one is one of my personal favorites. It's up on that list.
Yeah. I had very sort of low expectations when going into it. I was kind of, because this had a bit of a bigger budget, because that movie was made on $1,000. This was given $1 million, and this is by Universal taking it on. This is not John Carpenter, but they just get this newbie, this Rick Rosenthal, who hadn't had much experience before making a movie, and I don't feel like movies. Sometimes it's hard to follow up on a movie, continue. Right after it starts, when you're making it 3 years after it. Case in point, Quantum of Solace.
See, I like the fact how it continues on the same night. You know, 'cause I like how it connects to the original movie.
I do.
And I wish more of the trilogies would have kept that that second movie into their timeline. I personally think so, because you see a lot of the directors who wrote the storyline for the second one now come out and say how the brother sister story was a mistake, but I personally thought it was really cool, and then it goes into in the further sequels how. He had to kill his family. That was kind of like his motive, and I thought it was a really cool storyline to put in and give some and give some reasoning behind why Michael did what he did. But I also understand how they also in like the newer movies took it away to give it the sense of a mysterious man who just killed to kill.
Yeah.
It's like we're not when we get into it. I'm sure we'll talk more of it. But like in the newer movies, he wasn't really targeting. Jamie Lee Curtis's character, Laurie Strode, he was kind of always just like brought to her. But, back to me too,
I disagree with the choice to do brother and sister, because the thing that I feel makes Michael Myers scary is when you don't know his like whole idea and he's just pure evil, and I feel like kills really like explain what. God bless you.
Thank you.
God bless you.
I'm allergic to cats.
I just find Michael scarier when he is not not trying to kill his sister. I like him as just this force of evil that cannot be reckoned with. I mean, and Michael Myers is like based off of like a real
Michael Myers. No, the character, he was named after the actor Michael Myers.
Yeah, it was named after. Yeah, it was named after
Mike
someone.
Myers. Mike Myers.
Yeah, and but like, John Carpenter like went to some like mental institute in Kentucky, and in an asylum, and he saw this kid, and he.
Did he really?
Yeah, like and I guess like that idea was put into the TV cut of Halloween, and the idea of like just seeing, a kid just bless you, bless you.
Thank you.
Do I have to get rid of the kid?
No, it's fine.
Okay. But it just John Carpenter saw a kid just like staring at the wall, and he said it was like looking into the devil. So that to me, that's why like it's more scary when he's just not the brother trying to kill his sister. I find it scary when he's just
when he has no motive to do it.
Yeah,
he just does it to do it.
Yes,
and I get that. I mean, either way, even because like even if he was targeting his sister, which we see in these two movies he was, it's like he still was a notorious killer because everyone else he killed, the only reason he had for killing them is because they got in his way, where he just came across them, Yeah. So. But the whole hospital sequence I thought was really just so fun to watch and like exciting in the way you didn't know what was about to happen.
Whenever the Michael Brody from Jaws: The Revenge isn't hitting on Laurie Strode.
Yes, there was a lot of that.
That was a little too
yes,
creepy. But the part I really like is you see more of Dr. Loomis in action, unlike in the first one where he stands outside of the Myers house and just scares off kids.
He like kind of actually did something to try to help Laurie in this one,
Yeah. Besides pronouncing Samhain wrong.
Yeah, in the school when I was written on the chalkboard.
Samhain.
Samhain. The festival that is the reason we have Halloween now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just I do like Halloween too. It's definitely one of my favorites. Dean Cundy's cinematography still looks really great. I mean, Myers still feels scary even though they got a bigger guy than Nick Castle. Because as these movies get on, Michael Myers gets more buff, and I don't really like him when he's really buff. But overall, I his name was Dick Warlock, and you can really tell though that the mask like went through like a lot of hell because it was just under Deborah Hill's desk, so that's why it looks like dirtier. But we'll get more into like the Michael Myers masks like after
yes
once we get to number 4.
They do change a bit when we get to the these sequels here,
especially in
but
H2O.
My question is, simply, why did Michael and Loomis survive that fire in the original timeline?
Because they had to make more movies.
Yes, and that's one of my problems with the Halloween the entire saga, as you will. If you will.
We're gonna talk about a big thing that happens in Halloween 4 that is just so out of character. But anyway, Halloween 2, great sequel.
Yes.
But could have been a good ending.
Yeah, but as it's the Halloween 2 was the start for all the next Halloween movies, that it shows that precedent that, all right, even when we kill the characters, we want to make more movies, so we'll bring them back. So if you see someone die, don't think they're actually dead.
Or go in an anthology route. Halloween 3, which you seem to not like.
I am not a big fan of, and it's part of the reason. It's the reason why I'm also not the biggest fan of the newest Halloween Ends, which we'll get to obviously later. They tried to do something different, which, yes, I know the original intentions of Halloween were to tell these Halloween stories. Halloween wasn't really created for Michael Myers. It was kind of created for all these horror stories that happened on Halloween. So I see why they took that route, but giving it the same name of Halloween, trying to connect it to the other movies was a little bit confusing and disappointing. I feel like if I was a kid in the 1980s, and I'm like, I want to see Michael Myers, because he's awesome. I love Michael Myers, and
a lot of people were, but now all of a sudden it's just how awful the movies have gotten. It's like people have appreciated this movie a lot more.
I do see why in modern time it's getting appreciated more, especially with these new the new sequel trilogy, because it's like they used, I feel like in the newest three movies, the three masks of Season of the Witch, they appear quite a lot, and they do have a lot of significance to the newer ones. And I feel like it's definitely kind of the storyline of this is kind of wrapped in, like Easter eggs, if you will, into like some of the other sequels.
Yeah. So my whole thought on it, I do like it. I just don't like it as much as the other fans do, because people say that it's a they say like it's a fun 80s like science fiction, Twilight Zone direction movie.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a cool story. I think it's a great story. But
my opinion is that the main character, Tom Atkins, his character sucks. Tom Atkins is supposed to be this alcoholic doctor at a hospital, and is divorced with, is going through a divorce with Annie Brackett from the first Halloween, because that's the same actress.
Where'd that cat come from? Was he behind me?
I don't know. I didn't see.
Jeez, I'm sorry. Keep going.
Yeah. So his character isn't interesting. Like, he doesn't feel like he gains anything. He doesn't learn anything at the end. What else did I not like about
the movie?
No, like I feel like they should have made him a cop, because like the whole thing about the doctor is just that he was just there on the day that this woman's dad gets killed by Dick Warlock, who was Michael Myers in Halloween 2.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was the android, because that goes into the whole thing that Halloween 3.
Oh wait, was he the guy? He had the gun.
He was basically the head. He was the head android.
Yes. No, now I know you're talking about, because he was Michael Myers. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, Dick Warlock is the android, and also Jamie Lee Curtis is the woman on the sound speaker. And I have this whole funny theory that in this universe, Halloween, bless you.
Sorry. Keep going.
Bless you. That Jamie Lee Curtis plays this character who started as Laurie Strode in that movie, and did not get any success as an actress after that. So she basically works for O'Cochran in his town as the curfew woman.
Oh wow, that's a good theory, because technically the first Halloween is like it's a movie in this one.
Yeah, but I do like a lot of it's fun camp. Like I like all the makeup effects. Bless you.
Yeah. I think it's a good movie standalone. But if we're talking about all the Halloween movies as a whole, I have to put it on the bottom of my list, because it's the most irrelevant to the Halloween movies. I mean, how are you gonna it's a great movie, but if you have a whole list, you know, and I know this isn't a ranking, but you know, of Halloween movies, they all have Michael Myers except this one, you know, which I in my opinion, I feel like that brings it all the way down. But that's why I just am not a huge fan of it.
See, I don't know where to rank this movie on a God bless you.
Thank you.
I don't know where to rank this on a Halloween list just because of how different it is, but I do like it on its own.
As a standalone, yes.
And I just love that Silver Shamrock theme.
Yeah.
God bless you. And I guess you could, you know, in a way you could watch like Halloween and Halloween 3 like back and forth as like, bless you.
Yeah.
As like these two.
Well, I mean,
movies.
they are in the same,
Yeah.
you know, timeline,
Well,
the anthology.
Well, I also think they both have like the same sort of ending. There's this. They both have an ending of evil cannot be stopped.
Yeah.
And
There might be a happy ending, but you see this in all the Halloween movies. You might, you know, you might like get away from the killer or kill him. I'm putting quotes around that for a reason, but you'll never escape the evil, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So even in Halloween Ends, like, the evil's never fully gone.
Yeah. So then,
Evil dies tonight.
Overall, I do like Halloween 3 just because I still feel like it's still the same crew making Halloween 3. It's still John Carpenter who just composed the score this time.
He's a great composer.
Yeah, he really is.
Really is.
That's all he does really now. He doesn't direct anymore. Like, he hasn't made a movie.
I thought the
since,
new
like,
music for the new Halloween Ends was great.
Yeah. He really is like a great composer, and I really do like the composing in this. Mm-hmm. It just, there still is that, and also the director, Tommy Lee Wallace, was one of the actors who was Michael Myers. He was the one that I just punched his hand through the wall, through the door, just to, in that scene.
In the sequel or the original?
No, in the original, because there's multiple actors. It was just Nick Castle was just like the only one who was just like doing all of the like most of the stunts, but there's a lot of other people. I still feel like it has that feeling like you still have the same people working on it, which is my problem when we get to number 4. So Halloween 3 was a success, but wasn't that was the lowest grossing out of the 3.
It's a success for a standalone.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it did make its money back, so it wasn't a financial bomb. And Mustafa Cod, he wanted Michael Myers back. I know.
We all wanted Michael Myers back. I mean, I wasn't alive then, but
yeah, everyone just wanted Michael Myers back. That's what they kind of got. But John Carpenter did have this great idea. When the infamous Cannon Films wanted to make the next Halloween movie, Halloween 4, and John Carpenter had this idea where Michael Myers is like a ghost, and he still kills people.
I think that would have been a great idea.
Yeah, but it had to be Michael Myers killing people.
In the flesh.
So,
is it human? I'm convinced. Well, in this trilogy, I don't think he's human.
So basically, people got what they got. Halloween 4, the return of Michael Myers.
They got the kills, they got the gore, they got Michael Myers. They didn't get a story, but they got Michael Myers.
Because this was during the infamous 1988, 87 or 88 writer's strike. And so, as we all know, writer strikes really messes up things, especially The Office season 4, which was just famously just 15 episodes, and some of them were just 42 minutes long. One of my favorite movies that was affected by the writer's strike was none other than Star Trek V: The Final Frontier, which
I've never seen Star Trek before.
Well, this one is really bad, and only one draft, just like Halloween 4, only had one draft. This was going to end with rock monsters, but they didn't have enough money to have a bunch of rock monsters. So that's what I always think of. The writer's strike, you can always, Star Trek V, Batman, because in the first Batman movie with Michael Keaton, the third act kind of falls apart. And this movie is just the first Halloween, but Loomis actually gets a little more to do.
Yes, and that's why I like it. It's Loomis, you know?
Loomis is the best part of this overall trilogy.
I kind of like how we kind of got to see, Smith Grove in this, you know? I thought I
Was
personally,
was that Smith's Grove?
it was Smith Groves, I think.
Oh yeah, I guess it was.
I kind of like that. We saw more Smith Grove.
Yeah. My issue is that because I watched this, I watched the first 6 Halloween movies during the Rosh Hashanah break, and
Are you Jewish?
no, but I was off. I was off during the Rosh
Yes.
Hashanah break, and
We were
so.
all off.
And I just watched all 6 of these movies. And when I got to, when I watched Halloween 4 after Halloween 3, I just was thinking to myself, this looks so bland. This is the worst. This might, next to Halloween 2, this is the worst looking of the movies because it's just such a dull looking movie.
No, it is very dull looking.
Yeah. Because, no one came back from the original. John Carpenter didn't come back. Deborah Hill didn't come back.
Jamie Lee Curtis did not.
Yeah, she did not come back because
Her character, I mean, like, was mentioned.
the funny
They
part.
killed her off, right?
Yeah, they did like a car crash. The funny part is that Jamie Lee Curtis never saw any of those movies,
Really?
and so recently at the Halloween Ends premiere, I heard something that she finally met Danielle Harris,
Who's that?
the actress who plays Jamie,
Yeah.
and literally goes, I don't know you.
Really? Oh my gosh.
I know they have a podcast. Danielle Harris and the actress who played Jamie and who played Laurie in the Rob Zombie films. They have a podcast together because they were both in those movies. But anyway, back to Halloween 4. It definitely it feels so bland.
It does, and it was different, but I like it at the same time because I think it's probably my favorite of the Thorn trilogy because it brought him back. I think it's like it was iconic because I feel like people. I mean, like if you were alive during this time, and if you're watching all of them in order, like you missed Michael. You know what I'm saying? And I thought it was cool the concept with his niece of Lindsay Wallace and his niece, and all that. And I thought it was kind of cool. You know what I'm saying?
But
And it also, if you look back and this is through the entire Thorn trilogy, I'm not positive because it's been a little while since I've seen these movies that they directly mention it, but like they have characters from like the original movie like back in for this one. Like you have the little boy, that was babysitting and little girl. I forget their names.
Tom. I feel like Lindsay from the first one. I feel like she actually is in number 4, but. I don't know. It's not. I don't know. It was a different actress, of course.
She is, but
I think they met. It was just she was only in one scene, but then she's a different character in the 5. But we'll get to that movie. But it feels too much of just a studio film, and Michael's mask really sucks. And I know,
but it wasn't the mask he bought it from a store.
I know, but here's the thing. It looks too clean, and I know you're gonna say because it's from the store. But you know what? In the first Halloween, he did get that, at the store, and it did kind of look a little crappy.
A little crappy, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all he had. The other mask is like, whatever.
To be honest, all of the masks in these movies, up till we get to this new trilogy, they all really suck in my opinion.
I love the new trilogy mask. It's my favorite mask.
Yeah.
100%, but
it's not the original mask, because if it was the original mask, that original mask is definitely not terrifying as it was back then.
Yeah.
Another problem, and this is what I was trying to say, is that the movie, it ends with Michael Myers just falling into a pit. He gets shot by a mob, and I feel like Kills did a better job with the mob.
And he
parts.
survives that. So, spoiler alert, Michael Myers does not die.
No, but here's the problem. Loomis just goes, he's rotten in hell. And it's just like, this guy survived a fire, and you think, after getting shot to death and falling into a pit, you think he survived that?
No,
that's
the thing with Loomis. He thinks he dies after getting shot.
I mean, do you think he did? You think he's dead? You think he's dead after that? That is my whole issue.
This man shot him 7-8 times in the original, and he thought he died.
That did not feel like Loomis. That broke his character, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, I do. Danielle Harris is good. I think she's actually really good. You really get the feeling that she's a girl that's in true peril. I do like the relationship between her and Rachel, who I think is a native Long Islander. I think, but Halloween 4, it's it's good, but it
It
just
sets, I think, it
lot.
sets a bit of a standard, for the next 2 movies to come after it.
Yeah. Also, I forgot to also mention there is also a scene where Michael Myers' mask suddenly has white hair on it. Do you remember that?
Oh, yes!
Yeah,
I know what you're
brief.
talking about.
It's very brief, but
yeah I don't get that. It's so stupid.
Definitely,
Think people are not going to realize that. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, but now let's just get on to Halloween 5, which we're now, I guess people just start hating these movies because people like Halloween 4. So Halloween 4 definitely set up something interesting with Jamie attacking her mother.
Yeah.
I mean her foster mother, because in this movie it's revealed that she was only injured.
Mm. Also, I'm sorry, just to clarify something, I don't know why I've been calling Jamie Lindsay this whole time, and if I said Lindsay before, I meant Jamie. I'm sorry, but
I don't know if you have. I don't think I've been paying attention.
I called Jamie Lindsay Wallace, I think, twice. I meant to say Jamie. I was thinking about Lindsay Wallace because, like I said, I think her character comes back in these movies. But
she does.
Continue.
Yeah, Lindsay Wallace. I was trying to say Lindsay Wallace. I think comes back in.
It's either 4 or 5.
Yeah, she is. No, in 4, because in 5 it's Tina. Because I feel like I forgot. I should mention this was not by the same people who did Halloween 4.
Which I think is where a big problem starts, because you don't have these same directors,
because all these movies in this trilogy, they always keep changing.
That's what the issue with the sequel trilogy of Star Wars was. You had these different people working on it each time.
Well, yeah, I want to just go back and see who was. So this was directed by a foreign guy called Dominique Othengredard, who all he really made also noticeable was Omen 4: The Awakening. That's all I know he made, and people really hate him because he made a lot of changes because he really wanted to have that Hitchcock feel by being surprising, and it shows because he kills off Rachel very early on in the movie.
Yeah,
and it was a very likable character.
That's her. Was that the friend or the older sister?
She was the the older foster sister.
Yes.
Which was probably one of the strongest parts of the movie was their sisterhood.
No, it was. They had a very close relationship, which was definitely a little bit hard. Yeah. And then it's like the sister's friend became like her sister to an extent.
Yeah, it was weird because they just totally forget that she died.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
It's like they switched. I don't know if they, got different directors or completed or made a whole new script. They forgot they had that in the movie, whatever. They completely forgot she died.
Yeah,
and I did not appreciate that.
Here's the thing. I do have to admit, I like this better than 4. I just think...
I like 6 better than 4 and 5.
We'll get to 6. So, first off, Halloween 5, it looks good. Not saying it looks as good as, the first 3. But it does not look as bland as 4. There is an interesting style to it. I really do actually love the end in the Myers house when Jamie is going down that laundry chute. That is it's a very good suspenseful scene, and it's all shot well. It's a well shot movie.
Yeah, but that wasn't the Myers house. They say it's the Myers house, but it looks nothing like the Myers house.
You know what I mean? I do not understand.
I don't know why they call that Michael Myers' house, even though it did not look like Michael Myers' house at all.
Well, actually, now the Myers house is either a dentist or a chiropractor's office.
Is it actually?
Yeah, now.
Oh my goodness.
And it was repainted and moved in because it's in California, but.
Sorry, I'm scared of cats. That's why I was
Yeah. She can be scarier than that, but I do just like Halloween 5 just because it feels like it's trying to do new things.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
at
the same time,
it's nothing crazy. There's no new storyline, new characters or anything in it. It's nothing.
Yeah. Also, it revealed because this was I think it was a deleted scene in 4 on how Michael dies, because in the 4th one it's just that he just gets shot into a pit. In this he just gets blown up, falls into a river, and then ends up at a hermit's house.
Yeah, in a little ditch.
Yeah, and his
in mountain. I don't know.
Yeah, and he's in a coma. He's in a 1-year coma, And actually, it was originally.
Yeah, you're right. He was in the coma.
And
Yes.
it was originally actually going to be like a very a satanic guy who like brought him back, but they just changed to a hermit because that's why the hermit.
Then he kills him.
Yeah.
That was sad. He killed him.
But I guess Michael's mask still looks. It looks a little better. It does look kind of threatening, but
I just don't think it's a Michael Myers mask. You know.
He's way too big. Michael is still too buff, like a football player, which is not how I like it. Like Nick Castle was not like a buff guy. Or like the original Michael was just regular.
I think the sequel Michael is the best Michael, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, well, we will. But there's not really much for me to say about Halloween 5 besides they have this whole setup with the guy in the black trench coat, and they had no idea what they were gonna do with that. I think the producers just said, have a guy in a black suit be in the movie, just walking around, and no one knew what that was. And also Loomis, I think, was supposed to die in this one because
he was supposed to die in all of them, I think, but he never did. You know.
No, well, this one in particular because if you watch it again, you would notice how at the end he's not in the
second half.
Yeah, well, no, he's not in like the very very last scene where Michael gets
How fine, don't worry.
where Michael breaks out. He's like not there because I think he was meant to die, or maybe he like we're just meant to think he went to the hospital, but I think he was supposed to die, but I guess but they really couldn't. I just think overall it's not the worst. It's not one of the good ones. It's very middle of the road. That's how I think about 4 or 5. They're very middle of the road.
Listen, it's definitely not the worst.
But a lot of people do hate it though. People hate the choices. People think it's very boring.
I hate it, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I noticed
appreciate
it has flaws. So now let's get on to number 6. So this is a good point to tell you that there's another name for the Thorn trilogy. It's also known as the Pink Panther trilogy.
The Pink Panther trilogy.
Because it bears the same names, same titles as some of the other Pink Panther movies. You had Return of the Pink Panther, Return of Michael Myers, The Revenge of Pink Panther. Well, technically,
it's just called Halloween 5, but
yeah, they called it on the posters, and there was Curse of the Pink Panther. And now there's Curse of Michael Myers, but this was originally titled Halloween 666: The Origin of Michael Myers.
That's kind of a fun name. I like that.
Yeah, I like the 666 part, but it's not really a Michael Myers origin though.
It gives background to like his like why he's evil, which I don't like that, you know, because I prefer having, you know, like just an evil guy killing, you know, for whatever reason, you know, but and you know, it gives like this whole, which I think I like the movie for the fact that it's I think a very like a very well made storyline and a very cool storyline of this curse. I just don't think it should have been Michael Myers who has this curse. You know, give that curse like Pennywise or Jason or something. I don't know.
So this is where the franchise got bought up by the Weinsteins.
The Weinstein.
Yes, they. Well, this whole box set is.
What is this one for?
This box set is like all the movies that were by like the Weinstein companies, which is Curse of Michael Myers, H2O, Resurrections, not counting the.
What that H2O mask? I just don't want to look at it.
Well, we'll get to H2O. But this was just put on like a box set of the Miramax Weinstein, Halloween movies that were made under them. But yeah, this movie was just an overall like trouble production. They Quentin Tarantino was actually a part of this film at one point. He wrote some drafts, I know, for it, but that never happened. And it had a lot of reshoots. Donald Pleasance died, and
he did die.
And
isn't this a movie where the two cops walked out and they had clown squeaky noises playing?
No, that's 5.
Oh, that's 5?
That was 5.
No, same thing.
No, this one's like years after, and this one didn't even have like Daniel Harris come back, because there was actually a whole thing where Daniel Harris tried to get into this movie, which I find hilarious because she's hardly in it. And it's an awful movie, so I I don't think it was worth trying to get like a pension for this movie. So there's that, and Paul Rudd is in this movie. God damn, it is such a miracle that he had a career after this.
Yeah, listen, the acting was something else. Like I said, time goes on, acting kind of went, whoop, you know.
Yeah, well, that's really just thanks to Clueless, which came out like first, but this was his very first film that he worked on, but it was just delayed because it was just such a crazy mess of a production.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, this trilogy has a very similar format to another trilogy of movies. It's
the sequel trilogy.
Well, one gives one movie just gives you
Force Awakens.
Yeah,
yes.
well, it just
I was saying that before.
It just gives you what you want. The same story. After fans were pissed at another film, then one tries to make some changes.
Can I see this?
Yeah.
Ugh, I hate that movie. I'm sorry, but
You come into my house and you're throwing my shit around.
yes, I am. Worst movie created by mankind ever. Here you go.
Do you like Knives Out though?
I never seen Knives Out.
Oh. And then you get to
I think that's the best movie.
then you get to the third one, which tries to answer questions that the last one did, because the last one was not by the same guy who did the other movie before.
I thought that this was one of the best Star Wars movies ever. I truly believe that.
That'll be another day.
That'll be another day.
To be honest, I haven't seen Rise of Skywalker since I saw it in the theaters in
Oh.
2019.
I recently rewatched that.
I mean, I'm gonna probably rewatch it because I'm planning on doing a ranking video of all the billion-dollar movies, because Top Gun Maverick is, with Top Gun Maverick recently, God bless you. With Top Gun Maverick, bless you.
Give me a second. It's just cats. Oh my gosh. All right.
With Top Gun Maverick, making into the billion-dollar market. Now there's 50 billion-dollar movies, but we'll see we'll see what happens with like Wakanda Forever and Avatar 2. But anyway, Halloween 6, Chris Michael Myers. Also, by the way, which one have you watched? Did you watch the theatrical version or the producer's cut?
Chris Michael Myers. I'm not sure which one I did see. I kind of just watched it.
Because in the producer's cut, it's kind of revealed that Jamie's baby, Stefan, instead of Stephen, is
Part of the court.
no, he's Michael Myers' son.
Oh, I did not know that.
So-
How is that possible? I guess I saw the other cut then.
Yeah, we just saw the Curse of Michael Myers, which is the one that has. Oh yeah, it would have to be then the one where Michael Myers is just defeated by Paul Rudd by ejecting.
Yes, ejecting the shot at Smith Grove. Yes.
Beating him with a pipe.
Yes, I do. That's the one I did see then.
This movie is just, for me, it's on a so bad it's good level. It's so goddamn funny, and
For the wrong reasons. Funny for the wrong reasons.
it has the the best kill, in my opinion, of the series. If you know what I'm talking about.
What do you think?
It's the one where the Strode guy gets his head exploded by Michael.
Oh. No, like the gore. That was a good one.
Yeah.
One of the few good things I think about it. I just like this movie because I just think you go into the origins of.
Yeah.
I'm blanking. What's it called? Loomis pronounced it wrong in the second one. Soon. What's it called?
Sam Hain.
Sam Hain. Yes, Sam
Sam
Hain. Yeah, and I like the whole origins of that cult and the curse, and I thought it was cool. And the marking.
Yeah, but I find it overall silly just ejecting a cult, because I just like Michael as just the single threat. That's where I just like him. I don't care for him when he is just, bless you, when he's just this.
Yep.
Bless you. So, another thing, I do have to say this. I don't get the whole Strode connection, because the Strode family...
Well, because Michael's Laurie Strode's brother.
I know, and I know Laurie is definitely like Laurie is, bless you, Laurie is like a Laurie is like a different is adopted by the Strode, but I guess so then the Strode family did not want to take in Jamie, I guess. Also, these characters are like never mentioned. Like these, like are these like cousins? Like were they not related to the Strodes? I'm confused about that.
Yeah, 'cause it's exactly what they do. Like you said with the Star Wars sequels, they made all these questions that were never answered. You know, you had to question everything. They didn't go into depth. I mean, I think there are novelizations or comics of these movies that I'm sure go into depth of them. I've never read any of them personally, but
yeah, but I don't know. That was a weird part, and so, like they're never mentioned. Well, we never even see the Strode family in the first two. Well, I mean, we see the dad, but they just disappear in number 2. So
yep.
And yeah, just overall, it's a very weird movie.
No, it is very weird.
Yeah,
but I like the story.
It's just
cool.
It's
so
so
bad.
It's good. You know, it's a good 1 hour 27 minutes of my life taken.
You'll never get back. Think of what you could have done with that time, Alex. You could have upgraded the security of your house so I would not be here today.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
Ugh.
All right, so now a movie called Scream comes out, and the horror genre is resurrected. Is resurrected. I should really say, the interest is back. You know, because at that time the only thing that was really scary was you had the Silence of the Lambs, 7, which were like considered really scary, and then you had the Candyman, but that didn't really take off.
They recently remade that.
Yeah, well, that's another story for another day, but
everything's another story for another day.
So then Scream comes out, the horror franchise is resurrected, and then we get to Halloween H2O.